next week. All right, racket number 2. Trulia has decided to copycat Redfin and Realtor.com. Zillow-owned Trulia will ditch crime data beginning in early 2022. The announcement comes after Realtor.com and Redfin, which we covered on last week's episode 200, also revealed plans to avoid crime data. So Redfin has been out front at saying everybody should follow suit. All the big real estate website portals should not have crime data because we've never had it and we're super conscious on how not to discriminate to people. Look at us, copy us. And they wanted everybody to follow suit because they believe that the crime data is inaccurate. They believe that it's not easy to predict because all the communities are different, they talk about, and that it doesn't really reflect safety. Yet,
and it reinforces racial stereotypes and potential biases.
And that's where, they're talking about it, it can be used for discrimination, and that's why some neighborhoods have been held back. But yet, and we covered this last week, Redfin wants to, say that they're going to provide all the information, but they are picking and choosing here. So Zillow-owned Trulia is now copying Redfin, Realtor.com. Zillow already did not have crime data on there. So, and that was like Redfin. Redfin never had it either, but now they're saying that they definitely will not. They were toying with the idea of doing it. Now they're definitely not going to do it. Public safety data is defined and measured differently across communities, which may perpetuate bias in real estate and presents challenges with providing accurate crime data for our vendors. Now, if you go on, this is an Inman article, which we'll link up. If you go down, they'll show you where Trulia has crime on their map. It says map, schools, crime, shop, eat. So you're saying that it is defined and measured differently across communities. Okay. Well, schools are too. So take off the schools. And now you're going to tell people shop and eat. Take that off too. Because what are you going to go based off of reviews of who likes which restaurant better? Maybe your palate isn't sophisticated enough, Trulia.
Well, they may just be talking about maybe the amount of shopping and eating is available.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, the locations, but what's next? It's like, are these locations good, right? That's what people want to know. Like, okay, is this local grocery store any good? Or should I just be buying within 2 miles of a Starbucks and a Whole Foods? We know there's been studies out there, Nicole. We've seen them. If you live within 2 miles of a Starbucks and a Whole Foods, your value on your real estate goes up, right? So, okay, Redfin, you're going to show people where the Whole Foods are? And are you now pushing people to buy in those communities because they want to be closer to Whole Foods because they don't know what the little mom and pop shop is?
Right.
Or how good it is? I don't know.
So you think remove it all or keep it all? Is that what you're thinking?
Either remove everything and just show listings or show it all. You can't pick and choose what is helpful to the real estate consumer and what's not. You see, you're getting into what people hate about big tech. Like Facebook is going to stop people from speaking or Twitter is going to stop certain people from being able to have a voice on their platform. But yet terrorists can have a voice on their platform, right? So you're deciding now what's good for people when they're looking up information in a neighborhood. Either put it all or put none of it. You can't have it both ways, Redfin, Trulia, Zillow, Realtor. You guys are prisoners of the moment. You want to be seen as doing something really great for all mankind and equality and all that. And I'm with you on that. But the way in which you do it has got to be consistent. So either say, we're just going to show you real estate listings, or we're going to give you all the data. Because I promise you, people are going to look up crime data still with or without you. I promise you, people are going to look up school data with or without you.
Obviously.
So either show it all or show none of it. Would be my take, Nicole. But I mean, there's comments on my Instagram. You can go over to my Instagram, and I posted last week's where I talk about Redfin canceling crime data. And there's people on both sides of the coin that agree that, hey, this is going to cause discrimination and redlining and these types of things.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, I agree with you. It's a fine line. I don't, obviously you have to be ethical. Like you took the vow when you got your license that you wouldn't do any of that. So, I don't know the answer.
There's an agent.
Again, go ahead.
React to this. There's an agent in my comments that, she says, I asked the question, should crime data be posted on real estate search websites? No. Mm-hmm. She says, if a realtor starts to give out, and this is Lakefront Mary, love the name Mary on IG, Lakefront Mary. Mm-hmm. No, if a realtor starts to give out info, you never really know if it's a opinion or a fact. So a realtor that gives out info, you never know if it's opinion or fact. It could be the basis for redlining. The public should do their own research. So she hasn't had a chance to respond to my reply back to her. And I said, in your opinion, agents have no place in educating on what the area offers. So are we just transaction agents? Nicole, should an agent offer data, which could be, there are some things that are fact, right? There's 3 schools in this town, right? Or that would be a fact, right? Now, which school is the best? You can't really get into that too much, from a factual basis, obviously. Right. But should an agent be able to educate on like, hey, this is my favorite restaurant. This is my favorite place to go grocery shopping. These are my top 3 places to enjoy nature in the area. Should an agent get into that, or should they just be a transaction broker? In my mind, you have to get into that. I don't know that you would necessarily preface it as this is my favorite place, but I think that you can provide them where they can go to the supermarket, where like what restaurants are available. Hey, this is where you can get your bagels. I mean, I certainly think you need to direct them. I guess I'm not really. What if someone says, "What's your favorite restaurant in town?" Like, if you could only eat one place every night, would you answer that question?
I never answer that question. I never
Really?
answer that question. Never answer that question because I don't have a favorite place in town. In this town,
well,
I don't have a favorite place in this town. No,
I do. I have a favorite place. Bruno.
I mean, but I have favorite spots for different things. Like, am I looking for like ramen? I mean, I have a ramen spot. Like, I have like a steak spot, but
you have a ramen spot the next town over.
But so what I'm confused, I guess I don't really understand her comment though too, because I don't know that agents are necessarily giving information about schools. Is she saying that you shouldn't even be directing them to websites?
Well, she didn't get into school.
To links.
Her comment, and this is an Instagram comment. So in her Lakefront Mary's defense,
yes,
I don't know. It's better when you have a conversation about this stuff, and hopefully we're opening up a bigger conversation for agents to think about this. She said, if an agent starts to give out info, mm-hmm. you never really know if it's opinion or fact. It could be the basis of redlining.
So even if
the public should always do their own research on this kind of stuff. I mean, she is referring to crime data, so she's not referring to what I'm talking about.
No,
I'm taking it the next step further. Like, so where does it stop?
Is,
which data can I give, and which can I not give?
Right, but it sounds like she's even saying that you can't even direct them to a website to visit because that's
what she's saying on crime data.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Okay. She's saying stay out of crime data, like you would stay
out of all of it. Yeah.
Out of the love letters in Oregon or something, right? She's saying just stay away from it.
I mean, if that, but what, like, hey, call the police station. Like,
Nicole, do you feel safe here in this neighborhood? Can you answer that question?
Talk to the. I would, and I've. It's so difficult because I do say, like, as a citizen of my town, I feel safe. Yes. Or again, people ask me about like my schools, and I said, as a parent, like I'm happy with my child's school.
See, the school one's easy for me because I just say, hey, I think all these schools are doing a terrible job, and then people think I'm a little crazy. But I get out of that whole conversation with one response there.
Oh Lord. I love it.
But I take the bait on the food all the time. I'll be like, hey, here's the, here are my favorite restaurants. Here's who I like there. Here's what I don't like about these places. I mean, I get into that conversation all the time.
Well, right. I mean, I think you have to give the good with the bad too. I mean, I mean, people are looking,
I think one of the values of a real estate agent, people are looking for a familiarity with that community. And
for sure,
if their agent isn't somebody who knows everything about that community, you're questioning whether they're the right person to work with. They should have, and I think there's a way to talk about everything in an educational way, in a factual way that, I mean, listen, the amount of arrests that happen in a particular community happens to be a fact, right? The arrests either happened or they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that number would be a factual number that you could provide to somebody if you wanted to, right? So I don't know. I think there's a way to have the conversation about all of these different topics as an agent so that your consumers, your clients know that you actually know the area. Ultimately, people living in a new area, my overall advice is always spend as much time as you can there, even rent for a little bit in the beginning because you can then easier to move, so
right.
I don't know. It's a interesting debate. I just thought it was
interesting.
Quite the racket and quite hilarious that 1 week later, Trulia wants to make sure that their PR is on the level of Redfin and Realtor.com. Don't let us fall behind. We're just as publicly, socially conscious as you are. Have a stance, Trulia. Be somebody out there. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real Word, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.